3, 2, 1.
The countdown has officially begun.
It always stops at 1 on the show.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 running out of time scenes in movies. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're taking a look at the most nail-biting moments in movies, where characters find themselves racing against time. Since many of these scenes take place during a climax, a spoiler alert is in order.
I don't want to live without you, and I do have an answer for you. And my answer is yes.
Number 10. Neo Phone Home. The Matrix.
They're inside.
Hurry, Neo.
The final act of this mind-bending flick is a non-stop adrenaline rush, as Neo rushes to escape from the virtual world before Sentinels destroy the Nebuchadnezzar in the real world. Just when it looks like Neo has found a phone, Agent Smith suddenly confronts him with a gun. Shot down, it appears that our hero has run out of time. Even as the ship is torn apart, Trinity refuses to give up on the love of her life. She brings him back with a kiss, and Neo proves himself to be the one.
You hear me? I love you.
The Matrix Reloaded follows suit with its own climax. This time, though, Neo must race to save Trinity before she literally bites the bullet.
Neo, I had to.
I know.
Number 9. Time's Up. Independence Day.
Time's up.
From the trailer, we all knew that the White House would blow up eventually. Nevertheless, the film's first act still does a great job at building up a sense of impending doom. As flying saucers invade the Earth, the audience eagerly waits to see when the aliens will strike. David Levinson soon figures out the precise second when the aliens will declare checkmate, resulting in a race to warn the president.
I know why we have satellite disruption.
Our heroes manage to beat the clock, but there's not enough time to save everyone. What ensues is one of the most epic explosions in blockbuster history. The humans getting their revenge on the alien mothership is a close second, though. Number 8. Claiming the Holy Grail. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Breath of God.
Only the penitent man will pass.
When Henry Jones is left fatally wounded, only the Holy Grail can heal him. Luckily, his treasure-hunting son has a knack for getting out of sticky situations. Indiana Jones needs to complete 3 tasks as his father's life hangs in the balance. These inventive booby traps not only test Indy's agility and brains, but his faith as well.
You must believe, boy. You must believe.
Indy's love for his father motivates him to push forward, and he claims the Grail in the nick of time. Even after saving his dad, Indy doesn't have much time to catch his breath. As the temple collapses, he must make a difficult choice between riches and family. But, in a touching conclusion, our hero chooses wisely.
Please, Dad.
Number 7. 2 Missiles. Superman.
Stand aside now. I wouldn't stay here either.
Superman might be faster than a speeding bullet, but he can't be in 2 places at once. Lex Luthor pushes the Man of Steel to his limits in this gripping sequence, launching 2 nuclear missiles in opposite directions.
You don't even care where the other missile's headed, do you?
Superman prevents one rocket from wiping out the East Coast, while the other strikes the West Coast. He's still able to do some damage control, but tragically, he can't reach a suffocating Lois Lane in time. Holding Lois's dead body, Superman must accept the sad fact that even he can't save everybody, unless he just spins the world back to reverse time. Too bad the other characters on this list don't have that luxury.
Sorry about that, Lois. But I've been kind of busy for a while.
Number 6. Racing home, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I have to go. I'll play tonight.
Although Ferris Bueller is the most laid-back kid in school, he still has his moments of desperation. As his day off comes to an end, the carefree high schooler must hurry home before his parents and sister. This sequence is wonderfully staged, and the energizing music only adds to the excitement. Director John Hughes also injects a ton of comedy into the mix, particularly when Ferris stops to introduce himself to a couple of sunbathing babes.
Hi, how you doing? Ferris Bueller.
After several close calls, Ferris finally makes it to his back door. Unfortunately, the slimy Edward Rooney is waiting for him. Just as Ferris is at a loss for words, so is the audience. Good thing Jeannie has her bros back.
Can you imagine someone as sick as Ferris trying to walk home from the hospital? Oh, kids.
Number 5. Emergency Destruct System. Alien.
We're gonna blow up the ship. We'll take our chances in the shuttle.
Realizing there's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, the Nostromo crew decides to blow up their ship along with the lethal alien inside. Things don't exactly go according to plan, however. After Ripley commences the self-destruct sequence, the xenomorph blocks her way to the escape shuttle. Despite her best efforts, Ripley can't shut the sequence down. The good news is that the alien has seemingly disappeared, allowing her to board the shuttle with no time to spare.
The ship will automatically destruct in T-1 minute.
Intense, claustrophobic, and haunting, this scene creates a genuine sense of panic and will leave your heart pounding until the very last second.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As the Nostromo explodes, Ripley can finally rest easy. Or can she? Number 4. That was 1 in a million. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Hang on tight, R2. You've got to come back.
While the garbage compactor scene gave us pins and needles, the climactic battle from A New Hope took the suspense to another level. With limited time on the clock, our heroes only have one shot at striking the Death Star's main reactor. The tension continues to build as the Rebels' X-Wings drop like flies, and Darth Vader gets in on the action.
No, I'm all right.
It all comes down to young Luke Skywalker, who decides to let the Force guide him. With a little help from Han Solo, he's able to blow up the planet-sized weapon and go home.
Have you not? What?
Visually stunning, exquisitely paced, and beautifully scored by John Williams, this iconic scene leaves us at the edge of our seats every time.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Number 3. Batman's Choice, The Dark Knight.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
The Joker aspires to tear Gotham apart by presenting people with impossible choices that typically involve ticking time bombs. Although his social experiment aboard 2 ferry boats raised a fascinating ethical dilemma, this race against the clock was even more dramatically compelling. With Rachel and Harvey set to blow up in separate locations at the same time, the Dark Knight goes after the woman he loves.
No! No! No, not me! Why are you coming for me?
The Joker's deceit ultimately leads Batman to Harvey, however. Meanwhile, the police are unable to get to Rachel in time.
Harvey, it's okay. It's all right. Listen.
While the other entries on this list mostly end on a triumphant note, this harrowing scene demonstrates that the flow of time is cruel, as is the Joker.
The Joker planned to be caught. He wanted me to lock him up in the MCU.
Number 2. Pale Man Attacks. Pan's Labyrinth.
Iréis a un lugar muy peligroso. Tened cuidado.
Given a simple task, Ophelia just needs to retrieve a dagger from the Pale Man's lair. She can't resist the forbidden fruit on the table, though, awakening the dreaded Child Eater. Seeing the Pale Man come to life and devour 2 fairies is already nerve-wracking. What makes this sequence especially frightening, however, is that Ophelia only has seconds to escape before the door home closes. Although the hourglass runs out, Ophelia manages to draw a new gateway just as the monster closes in on her. Our young protagonist might get away in one piece, but it's safe to say the audience has been scarred for life, particularly any children who may have thought this was a family-friendly fantasy. Before we get to our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Everybody get back! Go, go, go! Hang on!
I got one.
Go, get back! Get back!
Number 1. The Clock Tower, Back to the Future.
Here we go. This time, come on. Please.
It's only fitting that time would play a crucial role in the climax of Back to the Future. Stuck in 1955, Marty McFly can only return home if he lines up his mobile time machine with a bolt of lightning while driving 88 miles per hour. The stakes are raised as Doc Brown's cables come undone and the DeLorean stalls. On top of all that, the audience is genuinely invested in seeing Marty get back to 1985 in order to save the Doc's life. But as this is a family-friendly fantasy, everything perfectly falls into place at the very last second. Much like the train chase from Back to the Future Part 3, this stimulating scene will have you cheering in your seat and then sighing with relief.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.